Hi everybody and welcome back. My name is Melissa and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. Today's tip is to quit using air freshener. Those stupid Glade plug-ins and stuff. You are not fooling anybody. It just makes your house smell worse. I have a hypersensitive sense of smell. And I can smell all the layers, and that's just adding on to it. Plus they're like really bad for you. They are a neurodisruptor. They use ethanol, I want to say, I don't know, like something that's also in gasoline, to spread the fragrance further. And don't tell me, oh, well, I got a really expensive one from Bath and Body Works. They use the same thing. It's also frequently used in like body sprays, I think, too, or something like that. I read. But those Glade plug-ins and the air fresheners and everything, they're like really bad for you. They're an unnecessary expense. Just not a good choice. Get an air purifier. Get vacuum more, open the windows. I can think of any number of options. I knew a woman who had 3 cats and 2 dogs, I want to say. Okay, so I'm allergic to cats, and I can be in a house that has like 1 cat as long as the cat's not around me. Once I hit 3 to 4 cats, I start to have sinus issues too. But my main thing is when they rub up against me, I break out in hives. I always thought it was like some sort of oil gland thing, but somebody was telling me it's probably actually their saliva. Before, like, everybody always thought like when it happened, it was like the thing that they use like an oil gland in their face, but they're finding actually it's because they're like licking themselves all over that it's saliva that you're allergic to. But yeah, I break out in hives from cats. So I went over to my friend's house and I started sneezing and coughing. I was like, I'm not feeling great. And she's like, is this your allergies? Because she knew I was allergic to cats. And I said, yeah. I said, but you have pets and that's okay. She changed her cleaning schedule. I was like, dude, you don't have to do that for me. But she had this thing that she wanted to be able to both have pets and have people who were allergic to animals in her home. She vacuumed every day. She had a rug shampooer and she ran that 1 to 2 times a week. I mean, she kept a incredibly clean house because she wanted to never have that be an issue. She didn't use products like Febreze or Glade plug-ins to cover it up. And she was like she couldn't sleep with the windows open because she was afraid that she wasn't comfortable sleeping with the windows open. It was like a irrational fear of somebody like slitting the screen and coming into her house. And it didn't matter, like they could break the glass too, but for her, like, she just felt like the screen was such an easy entrance or whatever, so she didn't like that. And I was like, okay. So she managed to keep her house like I said, 2 dogs and 3 cats, I want to say. And you couldn't smell that there were pets in there at all. And it's because she was constantly like cleaning and made sure her kids clean. She had like 3 kids too. The little one wasn't like really doing chores yet, but the 2 older ones were. So there's that. Obviously that's a lot of work and somewhat excessive, and that was her choice to do it that way. But she knew she wanted both pets and an allergy friendly house, so that's how she handled it. Air purifiers are another way. I used to work for a woman, and she had like the most amazing whole house air purifier. That definitely costs more. But there's a lot of ways you can do it, like just in general, keeping your house clean. Take out the garbage more often. My grandma used to, and my grandma never used air fresheners. She used to use like the grocery shopping bags, and she would put all the trash in there and take it out to the rubbish bin every day. A couple of times a day we'd go, like, so there was, you know, just never really garbage piling up. You know, because if, like, it takes us a few days to fill our trash bin. I have relatively clean trash, though. But I also, like, I don't know, we don't produce a lot of trash at my house. So, I mean, obviously we do at times, like, you know, when I buy 30 pounds of chicken at a go or something, then, you know, there's more trash. But, you know, take your trash out more often, or make sure you clean up after your pets more often, change the litter box more often. There's any number of things you can do, because like I said, those air fresheners, they're neurodisruptors. They're really bad for your health. They can cause problems for neurodivergent people, especially people who have migraines, people who have allergies. I have multiple things in that. They make me very, very sick. I hate the air freshener aisle at any grocery store. I hate the laundry aisle too. But they're so stinking expensive, and honestly, you might think your house smells better, but really, other people are smelling it. Like, using Febreze, I can smell through the Febreze, and I mean, I can smell the layers. Like, I can smell the chemical smell in laundry soap, and I'm not the only one. I know other people who can as well, both neurodivergent and neurotypical people, who can smell the different layers. Like, they can smell the scent, and then the chemical under scent, like, that's pushing it, and then they can also smell whatever the scent is covering up on multiple levels, and it's such a it's so horrible. But it's not working as well as you probably think it is, and they're so expensive, and it's such a waste of money. So hopefully you don't feel insulted. I'm not trying to be rude. It always comes off as rude when I try and explain it to people, but you know, and like I said, I'm not the only one who can smell through the air fresheners. Like, 20%, I think it's like 1 in 5 people have sensory processing challenges. And when you have sensory processing challenges, you are both sensory seeking. There's sensory seeking and sensory defensive. And you have heightened senses. So, like, that's when you can see the flicker and hear the electricity and can smell things other people don't smell too. So there's that. Then you've got the people who have just a heightened sense of smell in general, and then people who just have a low chemical exposure in their life, so they can smell the chemicals very easily and notice those layers. So there's a good portion of the population who can smell through the air freshener. And you know, so that is today's tip for frugal living, is to give up all the air fresheners. Air out your house, clean it, whatever, but And I know you're probably like, oh, well, you know, I've got a stinky teenager. Make them clean the room. I've got a stinky teenager too. I get it, you know. Make them clean the room and take a shower. It helps. Make them take 2 showers. But yeah. So anyways, again, my name's Melissa, and this year I'm sharing 365 tips for frugal living. If you want to hear more, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.